That's what I'm talking about, Fred. Hey, what's up? It's John Rankin, and welcome to Talking All-Stars, a video news digest designed to keep you up to date with all things All-Stars. Now look, there's so much going on these days that it's hard to keep up with all the excitement or even know what all of our colleagues in different departments or cities are doing. Our job at Talking All-Stars is to visually highlight some of the performances you may have missed and give you a glimpse of the impact we're having. The All-Stars staff did so much in October that Talking All-Stars could literally be a full-length movie. So we'll begin with a lightning round summary of our accomplishments. Our New York, New Jersey Fall Leadership Program involved 64 students and 130 corporate volunteers, with 15 alumni serving as ambassadors at the program's Development Day kickoff event. We now have a national volunteer program, with 8 people from New York, New Jersey, and Dallas attending the first orientation. A diverse group of 45 All-Stars community members volunteered to participate in a series of rehearsals for Operation Conversation. The development and design process continues. And finally, congratulations to us all on the success of Standing with All-Stars, our first virtual national benefit. The All-Stars was joined by over 600 friends and supporters, and thanks to the generosity of partners and sponsors, the event raised over $1.5 million and has now been viewed over 1,300 times over YouTube. There's more All-Stars to come, but first, we wanted to take a moment to acknowledge other individuals and organizations who are standing with those living in poverty. Our first shout out goes to Gordon Wayne, a formerly homeless Boston College sophomore who walked 500 plus miles last month to raise over $100,000 for the National Alliance to End Homelessness. When asked why, Gordon said, "I want to inspire people to keep walking, to keep taking that extra step." Appreciate you, Gordon. Thanks for all your hard work. Also taking some extra steps is Fordham University Assistant Director of Diversity and Global Inclusion, Maria Ponte. After reading The Road Ahead and meeting with All-Stars leaders, Maria invited New Jersey City Leader Shade McDaniel to join Marlene Taylor from Ryan Health Center and Crystal Hunt from Bloomberg on a Global Diversity and Inclusion Employer Social Justice panel. When asked how she would advise Fordham students on how to move their careers forward in our current social climate, Shade took a moment to talk about diversity and inclusion, All-Star style.
The All-Stars has been more even recently now called into boardrooms and called into, corporate environments and asked the question on, hey, how can we enhance our DEI principles? And basically our response to that is DEI is great, but if you don't have the conditions or the environment to create a space where people can have hard conversations and get more intimate and learn about each other's experiences, the DEI falls short and it becomes just tactics.
Way to represent, Shade. The New York Women's Forum, whose 500 members are among the city's most influential women, invited member Gabrielle Kurlander to create and moderate a panel conversation, Free to Perform and Perform to be Free, as part of a series on racial equality, social justice, and diversity. Gabrielle brought together All-Stars board chair Maria Morris, jazz great Regina Carter, performance scholar and activist Lois Holtzman, All-Stars program associate Jared Glenn, and All-Stars alum Ivory Williams for a conversation on the power of performance in their lives and in the world.
And as a young person, who sometimes wonders where's my voice in this? Or what can I do? And sometimes feel powerless, in a world that seems like it's not going to change anytime soon. And realizing that I'm not in this alone, that there are so many other people who are constantly contributing, and that I don't have to do this very grandiose performance. Just me showing up is sometimes enough to change, the trajectory of a lot of things.
Performing to be free is performing to be free of so many things, including being free of the roles that have been assigned to us and the communities that we belong to by virtue of where we are. And so performing to be free is performing to be human.
The Development Coaching 2.0 team, led by Director of Corporate and Foundation Relations, Pat Delgado, Chicago Program Manager, Megan Cohen, and Bay Area Associate Director, Kaya Harris Thompson, recruited a record number of young people and adult coaches and expanded its geographic reach to 20 states. Our largest fall initiative has 262 coaching pairs performing and developing together through mid-December. Have you ever wondered what the development coaching training experience is like? Well, now you can find out.
I just got a message from one of our alumni, Najurj. Hello, Najurj. I must say hello. I love all my alumni.
Oh, hello. I didn't think you would remember me. Sorry.
Absolutely. I remember all my DSY students.
Hey,
True,
thank
she
you
does.
so much. I just really want to say thank you. Most people don't know this. I joined, I think, in 2009 or maybe it was
Yeah.
2010.
Yeah.
I was in high school. I was a junior, and honestly, I had no idea about business. You coming every Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, it was when I would leave schools every Wednesday. Coming to you was literally life changing. Not only the meal was awesome, and being business professional, meeting other people, and you forcing me. Well, not you forcing me, but you encouraging me to network myself was the best thing ever. And I'm 27 years old now, and I
Wow.
thank you so much for you
Oh,
teaching me
thank
what you
you.
taught. Literally, honestly, thank you.
Thank you for being open. Thank you. So let me ask a question of our adults here. All of you, at some point, made a decision that you wanted to, throw your hat in and work with inner city youth. I mean, in a sense, Zaire and Rashad represent like hundreds of young people. So why did you decide to do this? Like, and some of you, like Gary's been doing this since 2007. Like, what motivated you? What prompted you? And what had you hang in here? Share this with people.
I'll take a start here. For me, I've always appreciated that I've been fortunate, that I grew up lucky to have resources and wealth around me. And when my life got to a point where I had free time, I was excited to give back in any way I could. I didn't even know what that meant in 2007 when I found the All-Stars. I just knew I saw a lot of inequity around me, and I thought maybe I had something to offer, at a bare minimum, my time. And then I found the All-Stars through Googling kids in music and finding the Talent Show Network. And it became very clear to me that there were a zillion ways to try and help and get connected to communities that could use some support. And it's been a very, now I can't leave, it's too good.
Our after-school development initiatives team, led by Research and Policy VP Bonnie Gilden, is experimenting with new ways to move the after-school movement forward and help build the Future of After-School course this fall. One of their most successful experiments was an interactive workshop on creating developmental conversations with young people that welcomed 43 frontline practitioners and welcomed group members from 27 youth-serving organizations. Let's hear from one of them.
The fact that he said like it's more engaging too, but also it helps you, like knowing that someone's actively listening makes you feel seen and like validated. And so when we're able to repeat these things back, it's like, oh, my voice matters. And so that communication piece goes hand in hand with like, trying to get the kids to understand that their voice matters too. I don't know, I just tie that all together.
Way to go, Bonnie and team. I'm so glad we're investing in that ADI work. On the cultural front, I had the unique pleasure of joining Chicago city leader David Cherry for a conversation with Muta Ali Muhammad, the award-winning director of the critically acclaimed HBO documentary, Yusuf Hawkins' Storm Over Brooklyn. The entire conversation was absolutely powerful, and I was especially touched by Muta Ali's response when asked what was the one thing he wanted viewers to take away from the film.
Main thing is I want people to know that Yusuf existed, and to know what happened to him, to get to know his family and friends, and just understand that they're living on. There's people out here who honor and love Yusuf, and there's a mural out there to him. So I want him to be part of our cultural our history, you know, and never forgotten. So that's really the one thing. And the way, David, you listed out all of the hurdles between a racist crime and justice. I want people to see that those hurdles were there 30 years ago. They were there way before that, and they're there now. So there's a lot of work still to be done. You know?
Cool. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Now, I wanted to take a moment to share how honored I am to have had the opportunity to be the founder of a new All-Stars initiative, the All-Stars Fellowship, that gives young artists of color the financial, creative, and professional support to tell their stories. And it means a lot to me and the All-Stars that our first fellow is Reynaldo Pinilla, a Black and Latin playwright and actor and Youth on Stage graduate who graced our Castillo stages on 42nd Street many times before launching his professional career. Now, in each episode of Talking All-Stars, we're going to hear from an alumni about what being an All-Stars means to them. So it seems only right that our first interviewee is Reynaldo, who spoke with me about how the All-Stars and Youth on Stage changed his life.
Yeah, man, I'm always down to be the guinea pig for All-Star, you know? So it's great. It's part of, you know, our development together.
Exactly. So can you share with me and the audience, like what was your initial foray into the All-Stars, just to give some people some context?
Oh, totally. So I was a junior in high school. I was at John Bowne High School in Flushing, Queens. And, you know, I was kind of a kid who was just barely passing. I wasn't really motivated by academics. I didn't really have a passion yet in my life. And Dan Friedman came and spoke to Dan Friedman, the artistic director of the Castillo Theater, one of the founders of All-Stars. And he came and spoke to my English class, and he talked about the different programs at All-Stars, Youth on Stage, DSY, the Castillo. And it just felt like this place of possibility, of opportunity, a place where I could try things out for free. You know, I had an excuse to leave my borough because up until that point, I had really just stayed in the confines of my neighborhood. So I kind of was like, why not, you know? And when I first was accepted into Youth on Stage and began classes in the spring of 2007, which is crazy to think back on now, I suddenly saw all of the answers and possibilities were inside of me the entire time. And it took someone recognizing that, acknowledging it, and giving me the room to explore, to grow, to fail, for me to actually reach my maximum potential and work towards that each and every day. So I still feel like I'm growing and developing, but those lessons I learned from All-Stars way back when are still sort of my foundation that guide me through the life each day.
That's our show. That's it for now. Thank you all so much for watching. I can't believe it. It's our first show in the can. Yes!